What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're back in the shop once again today, working on Che Bella. Not sure if we're going to make race week or not. It's not looking so good right now. We're running out of time, and I've just got so much going on. So probably not going to make it, but you know, you never know. I'm kind of a last-minute guy, so you may jam out there at the last second. Who knows? But anyways, got to get the car done regardless. I finally did get a dash for it. I was in Vegas last week working and found a wrecking yard out there that had a dash. It's not in the greatest condition, but I did get it cut. I got it in the car. Now I've got to pull it out and paint it because it's not the right color. Well, it was the right color, but I think it faded. But we're going to go ahead and lower the car down and pull this dash out, get it painted, and then get it back in the car. We're going to bring you guys along with us. What I always forget, guys, is that this car is like 31 years old. So the dash that was in it, when I took it out to cut it for the cage, it was so brittle, it started breaking everything. So it broke into pieces, and I'm like, well, this piece broke off, I can glue it. And then this piece broke off, I can glue that one. And then it got to the point where so many broken pieces were on it, it just would have been a giant glue mess. So like I said, I did get one out in Vegas. It is brittle also, but I was way more careful when I was cutting it. So yeah, we're gonna get it out, get it painted, and get it back in the car. Also wanted to show you guys, we got the up pipe for the wastegate done. Got the hood cut out a little more. This is cut really big because I had a 4-inch up pipe in here before. But got a little support bracket done there, so that's all done. Up pipe finished, out of the way, not blowing down anymore, so I just need to make a trim ring now. I'll do that this afternoon as well. Get that all finished up. And then, move on to all the other stuff I've got to do. But like I said a minute ago, guys, I did get a dash. I've got it in the car. Like I said, it's not in the greatest shape. I went ahead and got some black vinyl paint. We're going to pull this thing out and paint it, put it back in, and start putting the whole Che Bella back together finally. All right, well, she's just about finished up. Got a couple more panels to put in, and the under dash panels and pieces. Got the seats bolted back in. These USDM Type R seats are for sale, boys. I'm gonna need to put some Kirkies in here. I sit way too close to the cage. I hate getting rid of these things because they're really, really comfortable and I love them. But safety-wise, I've got to switch seats. So, anybody looking, they are for sale. Hit me up. So, dash is in, glove box is in. I'm still missing the. I'm gonna make a tray for the top of the airbag there, but everything else is in. Put the radio in, and this thing will be wrapped up inside. I'll be able to finish up out here. I probably got about another day or two's worth of work on this car to get it completely buttoned up. I've got to relocate a battery and put a disconnect switch in the back bumper. But other than that, guys, Che Bella's gonna be ready. I think if I do not do race week, I've got a set of Skunk 2 Pro 2 cams sitting over here. I'm going to go ahead and pop those in the motor and then head out to Colorado the week of race week and put this thing on the dyno, hang out with the boys for the week, have some good times, hang out, and see what this thing makes. This car is currently on stock cams. I believe it's got a Type R intake and a GSR exhaust, or vice versa. I don't remember. But car made 532 or something like that on 16 pounds of boost, and we're running 30 pounds at the track with this thing. We're thinking by how much fuel it's making 700 to 800 ish all wheel. So another reason why I got to get those Eagle rods out of this motor, or at least get my other motor done. But guys, the cage is all finished up, dash is done, Che Bella is just about finished up and ready for some racing. Jump out here tomorrow. We're going to be working on this. I'll probably switch spots, and I'll put the bug over here on the lift. The exhaust leaks are in the studs. So when you go to tighten up these, you can see it leaks. When you go to tighten these studs up, they just pull out of the heads. That's unfortunate, sucks, but there's a lot of weight and stuff on these manifolds. This side does the same thing, and it leaks as well. So I'm going to pull the... it looks like I'm going to have to pull the whole turbo off. So, yeah, I'll end up pulling the whole turbo off. And I got some parts for that. right here. So I got these adapter studs. So we'll tap the head to put this in. We'll Loctite that in the head, and then this is the standard thread for the header. So got a couple of those to pop in, and then go pick up some race fuel. And we're gonna take this thing out for a Father's Day cruise tomorrow. Just go rip around and do some burnouts. We'll bring you guys with us. Shout out to Omar and Grandpa Mafia for hooking me up with this piece. These things are really expensive on eBay, and I had a mishap and broke that too. So they hooked me up, brought it over. Really stoked. Thank you guys so much. Those are the only guys that I've met out here in Arizona so far that are really legit Honda guys that are really into it. They actually own that red car that was getting certified when I was getting mine certified. So huge shout out to those guys. Thanks, Omar and Grandpa. Appreciate you so much. All right, guys. Well, it is bug day. I got as much done on Che Bella as I wanted to get done yesterday. Got this car back inside. And today, we're going to work on the bug. Maybe do a little driving. So I just got to move a couple things from the back here. I was going to put this up on the lift, but I think I'm just going to do it right here on the ground. I'm going to clean off one of my tool carts, bring it over here so I can take all this stuff apart, get it on the cart, and then I should have enough room to get a tap in there and fix these exhaust studs. So it's unfortunate that I've got to take the entire turbo off to get to it, but you know, sometimes it is what it is. Give me a few minutes. I'm going to get that cart cleaned off, get it rolled over here, and we'll start taking this thing apart, getting it ready. Well, I got a tool cart cleaned off, got the swamp cooler running, cooling it down in here, and one last look at this thing before I start shredding it. I got to take all that off just to get to those studs. So, all right, guys, here we go. We're going to get to work. Okay, first step, got that big old carburetor off of there. It's just not smell very good. It smells like old fuel, so I'm going to need to pull the bowls, clean all the jets out. That's not a big deal. I can rebuild a Holly with my eyes closed. Intake manifold. Gonna take this off next. I'm gonna be pulling it off the turbo right here. And as you guys can see, so this gets oil fed through the water passage on the turbo. And they use, see how it's kind of into the intake, but it's blocked off on the inside. They use that to heat the fuel up. These draw-through systems tend to make this thing so cold that it'll actually frost up the manifold. It makes the fuel too cold. The car won't run right, won't hold an idle. So they run oil through there to warm this up. So this car doesn't really idle good till it's warm. So we're gonna keep moving forward. We'll get the turbo off next, and then we'll get the manifold off. All right, intake manifold is off. Got some of these braided lines plugged off because they've got oil in them. Pulled out of the way. We're going to go ahead and unbolt the exhaust manifold and then undo the turbocharge pipe. We should be able to pull this whole turbo off in one shot. All right, we pulled the turbo off with the manifold. Motor don't look so big anymore without that big old turbo on there. Take these studs out, drill and tap the heads, and then put the new studs in. Then this thing won't exhaust leak anymore. The turbo will spool like it should. And this thing will be back to ripping. All right, we're pulling the first one out. We got our first bit of bad news. This thing's already been Healy coiled, and the coil failed. So, not quite sure what we're gonna do yet there, boys. This may turn into something much bigger, like pulling the motor out of the car. So, I don't wanna do that. I don't want to have to do that. I'm going to forget that I saw this side right now, and I'm going to move on to the other side, see what that one looks like. Pull the stud out of the other side. So far, so good. Looks like the hole's just wallered out for the stud, so we can drill and tap that one, not a problem. The bottom ones I didn't really have an issue with. They tightened up pretty good, so not really going to mess with those if I don't have to. I'm really concerned with this one. Hopefully, I can clean those threads up and... I don't know. We'll see, boys. So we're gonna go ahead and start to run the tap through that side right now. Just be on the safe side, guys. I went ahead and double nutted both of these bottom studs, backed them out, inspected the threads, and then ran them back into the holes. They get nice and tight, so I shouldn't have any issues with the bottoms. It's just the tops. So, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the tap and run it through this hole, and see if we can't get our new stud in there. All right, guys, I think I may have got lucky. I'm gonna check the thread pitch on this Healy coil, but I think it's standard. And the adapter studs that I got are metric. They're 10 millimeter 1.5. So I'm running the tap in the head right now. As soon as I get that hole cleaned out, I'll throw some Loctite on that bad boy, and we'll get it pushed into there. And we think we may have dodged the bullet on that one. If I ever have to pull this motor out, I'll definitely pull the heads off and have them all welded and fixed properly. Cut a bunch of threads in there. So we're gonna grab the airline, get that thing blown out, and then see what it really looks like in there. Well, guys, those threads are not looking too good right there, so not quite sure what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and Loctite that stud and see if I can't get it to go in, and hopefully it'll snug up. If not, unfortunately, the motor's got to come out. All right, well, I went ahead and ran it in, and it got tight. I didn't put Loctite on it yet, but it got real snug. So I'm going to go ahead and back it out and then Loctite that thing in there. It looks like we may be in the clear on this one, guys. Well, I Loctited it, put it back in, snugged it really, really tight. So looks like we're gonna be okay on that one. I gotta figure this one out. So I'm gonna stick the regular stud back in the upper on that one and take a look and see if it gets snug or not. Looks like we got lucky on this one too. I went ahead and ran the stud in there, looked at the threads, they were nice and clean. So I backed it out, threw some Loctite on it, threw it back in, and yeah, boys, looks like we're good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting this thing back together. Should be able to friggin' rip. Okay. Need to polish up that chrome too. All right, well, we got the intake manifold put back on the turbo, got the brace set up for it, got all the oil lines hooked up, except for the one that comes out of here and goes over to our turbo. So I'm gonna get that last oil line hooked up, and then we're gonna take a look at this carburetor here, make sure the jets aren't all clogged up on her. I went and picked me up some Berryman's Chem Dip, a couple cans of brake clean, carb clean, and picked me up a Holley trick kit so I can get this thing taken apart, soaked. I really need to soak it because this gasket is really stuck on there. So I'll go ahead and soak it in the Chem Dip now and try to get all that. It'll eat some of that gasket material off of there, off the metering blocks. So I've got the other side to do, the secondary part of it, and start getting this thing soaked and cleaned up, boys. It stinks really, really bad. All right, guys. Well, we got our Holley 7. I found out this is not a 750, it's a 770. Got her all rebuilt. Used the Holley trick kit, all new gaskets, changed the needle and seats, got everything all cleaned up, and we are just about ready to pop it back on the old Volkswagen here. New base gasket on, fuel lines are here and ready, and then I'm gonna go pick up some race fuel this car up, and then we are gonna fire this thing up. Okay, as you guys saw from that little time lapse there, we got the nitrous kit back on, carburetors on, and I was starting to hook up the fuel lines, and I thought maybe there's some of that varnished fuel still stuck in the fuel lines. So I'll go ahead and switch the fuel pump on and have it push out any of that crappy old fuel that was in the lines and then in the regulator. It has some issues with the nitrous system. Although I never used it, I tested it. The purge would trip a fuse. I think this purge solenoid's bad. I'm gonna check into the wiring. I had to clip some of the wires back here. It was all kind of run up tight, and then like the fuel solenoid, you can see right there, there was some bare wires hanging out. So I'll take this apart, solder all that up, clean all that stuff up too. These are actually some old NOS PowerShot system. But I've got solenoids hanging around. I've got all kinds of nitrous junk all over the place here. I've got nitrous kit upon nitrous kit. So yeah, guys, almost ready. We're gonna get this bad girl fired up. All right, well, I had a couple of issues with the float heights. I had them set way too low. It was just dumping fuel in here. I got them adjusted, and turning it over, I killed the little battery in there. So I got the jump box on it, and we're gonna go ahead and jump in here and fire this thing up. All right, ignition on, fuel pump on, start her up. Oh, she came right to life, boys. Oh, this old girl wants to run. The old bug is back to life. She is ready to rip. Got a couple little wiring issues I got to take care of on this nitrous stuff. I clipped a bunch of it because, like I showed you earlier, it was a little twisted up. But for the most part, guys, everything looks money. We may take this thing for a rip today, boys.
Calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
All right, guys, well, unfortunately, it's been raining the last couple of days. You can see all this monsoon flow and these black clouds. So every time we go to pull the bug out of the shop, it starts to rain. So we're gonna hold off for a couple days on the drive, make sure all this weather clears up out of here. That car is not easy to drive when the street's wet. So you guys, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you drop us a like and a subscribe. Drop a comment down below if you like what you're seeing. And we will see you guys in the next video.